Hi, welcome to the presentation on Introduction to NJ-SCADA, a new ignition add-on module based on NodeJS Technologies by PRAMANJ Technologies. What is NJ-SCADA? NJ-SCADA is a SCADA system based on NodeJS and JavaScript and SVG technology. It's purely based on JavaScript technology on the client as well as the server side. It integrates with Ignition through a gateway communication module, and it can integrate with any OPC UA server and act as a standalone SCADA as well. It integrates all the following modules developed so far by PRAMANJ Technologies into one single package called NG SCADA. First such module is mSCADA, which is a mobile SCADA on local area networks and virtual private networks for local clients, and it uses PubNub to display the SCADA screens on remote clients. AR-SCADA is a module for monitoring and control of the plant using panoramic virtual tours on local clients on LAN and VPN, and on remote clients using again the PubNub cloud. RM-SCADA is a remote dashboard module which uses PubNub. It can be only used in remote mode. Unisense is a simulation package which will also be made available soon for NJ-SCADA. Why to use NJ-SCADA? NodeJS server is a blazingly fast, lightweight technology which is suitable for real-time applications. SVG and HTML5 based clients offer platform independence. NJ-SCADA uses socket I/O for communication, which is lighter and faster than HTTP protocol. NJ-SCADA is lightweight and very small footprint SCADA system, which is about few hundred kilobytes. The server, NJ-SCADA server, can fit on embedded devices as well wherever NodeJS can be installed, for example on Raspberry Pi devices. It uses its own NoSQL type index sequential databases for historizing the time series data, because using third-party SQL or NoSQL tools is an overkill in our opinion. NJ-SCADA is suitable for IoT application as well as for edge devices. It can connect to MQTT devices through PubNub MQTT adapter or to PubNub devices directly. PubNub allows a serverless connectivity to IoT devices as well as to cloud platforms such as Google Cloud Platform, Azure, AWS, etc. PubNub enables use of predictive analysis using TensorFlow trained models. NJ-SCADA leverages all the new and the latest technologies, whereas Java is bulky and requires JVM. The configuration of NJ-SCADA. NJ-SCADA can be installed on the same physical machine as the Ignition gateway server, and it communicates with Ignition through the gateway communication module. The Ignition clients display the data as usual through the LAN connected to the Ignition gateway, and the mSCADA and the AR-SCADA clients, they communicate with NJ-SCADA module to display the augmented reality screen and the SCADA screens on a LAN or a VPN. NJ-SCADA server also connects to the PubNub cloud, through which the remote clients can communicate with Ignition through the NJ-SCADA module to display the augmented reality screens or the SCADA screens. Sequence of execution. The ignition server, when it starts, it reads a tag path file which defines all the fully qualified tag paths of all the tags that are going to be displayed on the NJ-SCADA clients. It could be AR-SCADA clients or mSCADA clients. Tag path file also defines the remote dashboard parameters to be displayed on the remote clients. Now the NJ-SCADA server reads its configuration as defined in the NJ's config file at the startup, and it stores the project file. It reads the project files and the augmented reality images on its own database. Now the local clients communicate with the NJ-SCADA through LAN or a VPN directly, and remote clients communicate to NJ-SCADA server through the PubNub cloud. So the tag path file, which defines the parameters to be displayed on the NJ-SCADA screens, are shown here. These are the fully qualified tag names that have to be displayed for a bar graph on the dashboards. These tags are to be displayed on a pie chart. These tags are to be defined in a trend chart on the remote dashboard using PubNub cloud, and these are the gauges. Apart from that, these are the tags that are used in defining in displaying the real-time foreground parameters onto AR-SCADA screens as well as the mSCADA screens. So these are for the remote dashboards, and these are for the mSCADA and the AR-SCADA screens. So basically, the fully qualified tag path is defined here, and these are the alarm limits. This defines the status of this tag is in state 1 if it is greater than 75, state 2 if it is greater than 80, state 3 if it is less than 20, and state 4 if it is less than 10. So the alarm limits can be defined for all the tags. If some tags don't have an alarm limit, then it can be just left blank, as in this case. And if some tag is a logical value, so the equation can be defined as state with an equal to sign. If it is equal to true or false or open or close, then the state can be defined as state 1 or 2 or 3. So this is the structure of the tag path file, and this is the NJ-config file, which defines whether the NodeJS NJ-SCADA is to be executed in online or mode or offline mode. Online means if it is connected to the ignition server, or it has to be run in a standalone mode with some simulated tags. Simulation mode is good for testing. And this parameter PubNub defines whether you want connectivity with the PubNub or not, because you can run NJ-SCADA only in local mode. And LAN equal to 1 specifies whether you want connect to the local or LAN clients or VPN clients. And host is the host name of the ignition server. So if NJ-SCADA is installed on the same server as ignition, Then we can as well call it, give it a host name as localhost. If it's on a separate machine, then we have to give the host name of uh, the ignition server. And this is the port number of the NJ SCADA where the local clients will connect to. Debug flag is to display the debug values on the NJ SCADA server as it executes. And this is the publish and subscribe key of the pubnub. And this is the license key of the NJ SCADA. If it is not licensed, then it will run for 2 hours and stop. Now these are the typical outputs that you will see from the NJ SCADA. These are the remote dashboards which can be seen only through the PubNub cloud. These are not available on the local clients. So this is a trend chart. You can see, for example, these are the tags that have been configured in the tag path file to be displayed in a trend. This is the bar charts. This is a dial, and this is a pie chart. Now this is the mSCADA screen, which is basically for 2D interface. A SCADA like ignition like interface can be configured onto local clients or remote clients using the PubNub cloud. So these are typical components we can use: a dial, a static text, a table, a multi-page table, buttons, spinners, and some P&I components like valves and lines and circles and ellipse, etc. This is a trend. Using this parameter, one can configure the mSCADA screens, which can be monitored on local clients as well as remote clients through the PubNub cloud. This is the augmented reality screen menu. So these are the various systems and subsystems of the plant. Clicking into this will take you to the display of the virtual tour, and you can monitor and control the plant onto the panoramic virtual tours. The virtual tour looks something like this. So you can rotate the screen, zoom into it, and you can navigate it into other subsystems. And each subsystem we can use these components of NJ SCADA, which are also available on the 2D screens. Same components can be used in these 3D screens, like buttons, spinners, multi-page tables, bar chart, dials. And this is the status window. It tells you the username, password, the access, the status, whether you're online or offline, the cycle time of display, whether you're licensed or not, the time and the date, and whether you are live or not. Now these screens, what you saw so far, are available both in local mode as well as remote mode through PubNub. So in order to monitor these screens through a remote client, the dashboards are only available through PubNub on remote clients, and dashboards uses just one single HTML file which defines the configuration of the parameters that have to be displayed as dashboards, and it defines the PubNub keys. So a PubNub client is instantiated, and it communicates with the NJ SCADA server through internet to drive the dashboards. Now in order to monitor the mSCADA clients screens on remote clients using PubNub, we have to physically copy the resources like images and the symbols on the remote clients, that is on mobile phones or desktops or laptops, and invoke one single HTML5 on open it under a browser onto the remote device, and it will communicate with the NJ SCADA server using the PubNub cloud. So basically, this is not an app that has to be installed on the remote devices. It is some resources that have to be physically copied onto the mobile device and open it under the browser. In future versions, we will have an app which can be installed from the net to install the remote client. Now, once you start open the HTML client onto a browser, it communicates with the NJ SCADA server and gets the project as a JSON file from the NJ server through the PubNub cloud and displays onto the remote client, and the packets are sent from the NJ SCADA server periodically to display the foreground data. Now, for AR-SCADA remote clients, the resources and artifacts of the panoramic images have to be copied onto the remote client, and the foreground data is displayed periodically through the PubNub cloud. Another alternative is to host the panoramic images and resources on your company website and then access those pages from any remote client, and the foreground data will be fetched from the NJ SCADA server using a PubNub cloud. Now, future versions and the roadmap of NJ SCADA. NJ SCADA is continuously being perfected and enhanced for the following features. We are trying to add more components such as IP cameras using the WebRTC library, and other ignition-like components such as reporting components, charts, OE components, symbols, etc. Now we are adding some more drag and drop features into AR-SCADA screen configuration to make it easier to configure the AR-SCADA screen. At the moment, AR-SCADA screens have to be configured through an XML file. Now, use of VR glasses and HoloLens technology for 3D viewing of the plant. 3D viewing involves use of WebGL, and currently the NJ SCADA doesn't have their components, the foreground components available in the WebGL format, but that will be made available in the new future versions. Now, we're trying to enhance the alarm systems to generate and send SMS and alerts, as well as use some analytics features from the archived history of the alarms to give you more insight into the plant. We are also enhancing the history feature for building the AI artificial intelligence models using the TensorFlow neural networks to perform real-time predictive analytics, plant performance monitoring, and giving more operational insights into plants. We're also going to include one of the popular JavaScript client-side DOM frameworks such as React or Vue, one of the two, for the NJ SCADA. Right now, the NJ SCADA client is DOM free. It is purely based on SVG and uses its own library. There is no third-party library involved. But in future, we'll use one of the standard DOM-based client-side framework. Now we are also going to have OPC connectivity with the OPC servers through OPC client. Right now it's work under progress, and right now the communication is only through gateway communication module to Ignition server. In future we are also going to have our own OPC US server connecting to popular PLCs. Then we will also have, our users can also themselves have a MES and OE module built based on the new technology once we have the client side framework available onto NJ-SCADA. So there is a lot of possibilities, and the sky is the limit for future. So typical use cases of NG-SCADA, how NG-SCADA can be used are explained here. NG-SCADA can be used for existing as well as new installations of Ignition for the following typical use cases. Enhance your customer's experience through augmented reality, virtual reality interface. So your existing Ignition customers can have the added advantage of AR and VR technology, and it's very easy to capture the 3D images of the plant using some 360-degree cameras, which uses two fisheye lenses on both sides. So in a single click you can generate a 360-degree image and import it into the NJ-SCADA. Now you can easily add remote monitoring control capability to Ignition with NJ-SCADA and PubNub. If your existing customers don't have a remote monitoring capabilities, if they have only VPN and LAN connectivity, you can very easily install NJ-SCADA on Ignition, and using the PubNub cloud you can allow them to monitor and control the plant through a remote device anywhere in the world on the internet. Now you can use NJ-SCADA to connect Ignition with IoT devices, which could be MQTT devices or non-MQTT devices with ease using the PubNub serverless technology and NJ-SCADA, because you don't need any physical server to be present between the IoT device and the Ignition gateway. PubNub takes care of that. It provides a serverless connectivity. Then you can very easily connect Ignition with other remote SCADA systems or Ignition systems using the PubNub cloud. You can jumpstart and join the bandwagon of the modern technologies such as NodeJS, SVG, HTML5, JavaScript client frameworks, PubNub, Google Cloud Platform, etc., and keep your IT staff motivated with using the latest and the greatest technology. Simplify your client's infrastructure. NodeJS is a very simple server. It doesn't take much resources to install and maintain, and it reduces the maintenance cost and the overall cost of the ownership. Now using NJ-SCADA you can join the ecosystem and participate in building this new product, and by giving feedbacks and suggestions to enhance the system. So we would like to thank you for your time for watching, and for additional information please visit the website pramanj.com and AR-SCADA.com. For more information or getting an evaluation version or pricing, or getting a quotation for implementing NJ SCADA onto your projects, please write to pramanj2015@gmail.com. Thanks a lot for watching, and please evaluate and try NJ SCADA.